Shai, the hustle plays tonight, up and down Cason's offensive boards, Caruso diving on the floor. I mean, what's your reaction and feeling like inside the game when stuff like that's happening?
Yeah, we did all the little things, all the little details to give ourselves an edge tonight. Every night is going to be different in terms of makes and misses, and your opponent's makes and misses. But the little things that you can control, we call them topside tagging, but offensive going to crash the glass offensively, boxing out, like you said, diving on loose balls. Those little things you can control every night, and they give you a little bit of an edge. The shots weren't always falling tonight, but those little things we carried throughout the night, and then once shots did fall, we were able to stretch the game up because of it.
Yeah, with that in mind, I mean, you got lots of guys good looks and involved, and it was great balance. And then you were able to find your offense with extreme efficiency. How did you strike that balance tonight? I know you've said in the past that's one of the hardest things to do in the NBA is to find that balance.
Yeah, it starts with being aggressive, taking what the defense gives me, and then just coming down, trying to make the right basketball play, and letting the game tell me what to do, really. A lot of it's just about feel and decision-making, and I'm going to continue to try to get better at it, as you can always get better.
Shai, just last game, the second half against the Pelicans, I think you were asked about this, but they kind of threw a level of defense at you that you hadn't really seen a ton this year, and you talked about the challenges then. Just what is it like for you, a game after that to kind of see like a night and day shift in how you maybe read the defense and were able to kind of manipulate it?
Yeah, I don't feel like the Pelicans threw anything I haven't seen before. It was just maybe caught us by surprise a little bit because we had had a big lead and relaxed, and they amped up their energy and physicality. But myself and the rest of the team, we use every opportunity, every game to get better and learn. And I think we did a good job tonight of sustaining a level of intensity throughout whatever the game looked like. They obviously started the game a little bit better than we did, and then just trying to carry that through the swings of the game. I think we did a better job of tonight.
When you played these guys less than a month ago, we asked about the second round series and whether you carried that into the season. You said you wouldn't forget that. You wouldn't try to forget that. I just wonder how much is that running through your mind as you're going through tonight?
Personally, all day. They came out the West last year, I guess, which means they were the best Western Conference team. And obviously we all know how good the West is. And I respect that. And I use that opportunity to get better. And I use the opportunity to see if I got better and really measure myself against not so much the outcome, but the feel of the game offensively, and strides we made personally and as a team. So yeah, they're one of the better teams in the league, and I definitely have a heightened sense of preparation and anticipation for the game. That goes to say with every top team in the league. For me personally, that's where you see who's really who and who you really are, is when you play the top of the top. And for me, it's just that's where I want to be at the end of the day. I want to come out the West and I want to win an NBA championship. And they did it, so we're gonna have to go through them. So it's a good measure. It's good to see where we are.
You guys have played this Mavericks team a bunch of times, but not with a traditional big, not with Isaiah Hartenstein. Did it feel different with him out there with you guys?
Absolutely. Every game with Hart has felt different since he's been back. He affects the game in so many ways. So smart in the pocket, so physical, great hands defensively. There's a list of things that he does that we might not have necessarily had in the past. So yeah, he it's just an addition to this team, and he makes us a whole world better for sure.
And then do you get the sense with the group that like these cup games mean more to you guys?
It definitely has a little bit of a different feel. Tonight felt like there was a little more like at stake. Now with that said, if it wasn't a cup game tonight, we would have definitely came out with the same sense of urgency and intensity. The court might have looked a little bit different, but we would have still tried to win the game. At the end of the night, we're all like competitors, and we really, really want to win, and that's first and foremost. And to get that done is above all.
Go ahead, Daigneault. Cason's role kind of changes for every few games, whether he's starting or coming off the bench. But he seemed like he's a lot more comfortable as a basketball player. What have you seen from him in the last few games or few weeks?
Yeah, he just adjusts on the fly, does whatever's needed. Some nights it looks like him being more of a ball handler. Some nights it looks like him being a spot-up shooter. Some nights it looks like him just playing defense and not shooting. It just speaks to his character and what he adds to this team. He does a lot for us, and guys like myself who get to shoot every ball, every possession, don't take that for granted. The things he does is not the fun and pretty and cute stuff of basketball, but it's needed for us to win, and I don't take that for granted. And there's more guys on the team like Wiggs. There's like a guy like Dylan, who's played point guard his whole career, comes and plays from the 5. K. Rich. There's so many guys on the team that just do whatever it takes for us to win, and if that looks like outside of their role, then it is what it is. But we appreciate them for sure.
Why do you think you guys were able to make it as tough on Luka to get any kind of rhythm tonight as it was?
Dort. Lou was himself tonight. He was felt like in his shorts all game, 94 feet. Lou just one of the, if not the best perimeter defender in the NBA. And we just saw another Lou Dort outing. And then we tried to show him bodies. Obviously, he's a really good player. We tried to make sure he was playing in a crowd. And he still had some crazy buckets, but we did enough to get a W.
And you finished with 39. Luka and Kyrie combined for 33. What's your reaction to that stat?
Hell of a job by Lou and Cason. I think to hold them is a lot harder. It's more impressive to hold them that low than it is for me to get 39 points. Like, I think to hold those two to that low really gave us a chance to win the game. And we felt like we had control of the game, the rhythm of the game because of that. Obviously, those guys have a big imprint on them offensively. And keeping those two in check is very rare. I don't know if that'll happen again. But yeah, hats off to those two. They took the assignment, passed the test tonight for sure.
Just wanted to ask. Just wanted to ask how much of a boost you guys got from Chet being here, especially against one of the better teams in the league in an NBA Cup game.
Yeah, it's great to have Chet's spirit around. Such a funny guy, so positive. He gives the pregame speeches before we run out, and he did it tonight. It's probably why we won. But yeah, it's always good having him around. Obviously, the circumstances aren't perfect, but whenever we get blessed with his presence, it's a plus.
Long pregame speech?
Not too long. No. Like 30 seconds.
Specific message?
Win the game. Get some more money. Protect home court. Now, he said it in a different way, a little bit more explicit, but that's what his message was.
Gotcha.
Lou, when you're going, all-out effort to try to deal with the matchups that you're dealing with, and then you see, Caruso diving on the floor for a loose ball and Queso flying in for an offensive rebound and some of these things, like how much of a pick-me-up is that for you, knowing you got to line it up again, possession after possession?
Yeah, those energy plays. not just for me, but for the whole team. You know, every time we see a guy go down to die for a ball, or our splinger put a lot of effort defensively, it just bring a lot of juice to the team. But it's always great to see when a teammate makes a big play like that.
Lou, I don't know if you overheard, Cason's thing, but Chet's pregame speech. What do you remember about that? What was he kind of saying?
Go out there and win the game. That's it. Really, just to go out there and win the game and compete. That was it.
And you've played Luka a number of times now in your career. I don't know how many times he's shot, 5 for 15. Just what tonight worked so well in defending him?
Just competing. I don't think I really did something different that I usually do. I always play hard. It's always a great matchup every time I go against them. I want to give credit to my teammates defensively behind me. The load and how they were there and helping me. I never feel like it's a one-man job. It's always the whole team behind me at the same time. But I feel like just my teammates was there communicating with me and just telling me what was going on back there whenever we was pressuring up too. So. It was a full team effort.
And of those teammates, you hadn't played against Dallas with Hardenstein. He was kind of up top sometimes, hedging with you and back at the rim. Like, what was that like having him out there?
Much better. It always helps whenever you got a dominant big out there, especially on the rebounding side. I feel like it's been one of the issue every time we played, Dallas. So, it was good to have him out there with us tonight.
Lou, do these games against the Mavericks take on more significance for you given what happened in the playoffs and that you might have to go through them again this year?
Not really. I just feel like it's another game. It's part of the game. We're gonna lose some games. We're gonna win some games. They got us out last year. It was an learning experience for all of us. We came back, got better. So, every time we see them, it's going to be a challenge like any other team. But our main focus is just go out there and compete and try to win games.
Lou, whenever you first started, your defense, everybody just kind of marveled at it, and you were just stuck on the best player every single night, and that for years you cycled through and you're that guy. This year it seems like they got a number of guys that can do it. Cason can do it. You can do it. They bring other guys doing that. Just how does it feel to have that support and kind of knowing in a way that you influenced how this organization kind of goes about playing defense?
It's good, honestly. Not only it helps me, it helps the whole team, and you can see the difference. How with the results. Then whenever we got all of our guys out there playing, tough defense, and biggest thing for me is it's still kind of new for me. I still gotta get used to it. On the communication part and all that, and being able to honor the calls and stuff. But it's great. And we're still building this trust. But as you can see on the result, like it's going well for us.
You mentioned kind of, the learning lesson of the second round last year that you guys took as a group. Is there anything specifically you feel like, you guys learned in that series?
Execution. It always comes down to that. Valuing the possession every time to not get our foot off the gas, and then to get my runs every time. So, the games always came down to a lot of last possession in the last quarter. So, just being able to value possession and trying to get the right shots every time.
You've been shooting in game with the finger injury for a little while now. How does that feel, and are you getting used to it?
It's starting to get better. At first, it was tough. Honestly, it's something new, playing with a splint and trying different type of tapes every game. But there's one the type of tape that I really like, and now I just gotta stick to it and get used to it. But it's getting better.
Lou, I don't have the exact quote, but Luka a couple of years ago was talking about how you're one of the better perimeter defenders in the league. Can you just sort of speak to the mutual respect you have between each other?
It's always respect. We always, every time we see each other, it's a challenge. We always go at each other. We out there competing. He's a hell of a player. He's always one of the toughest matchups for sure. And every time I see him, it's always got to be locked in. I always got to watch film and really be prepared. But it's always respect, and then we'll compete on the floor, and after the game we'll dap up.
Lou, when we talked to you today after losing that series back in May, you said that losing that series was going to be in the back of your head for the rest of your career. I just wonder, like, when you play this team now, like, how much is that series in your mind, like, throughout the day, throughout the course of the game?
I think about it before the game for sure, because that's the team that got us out last season. But whenever the game starts, it's just got to go out there, compete, and try to win the game. It happened in the past. It's not a good feeling whenever you get whenever you lose a playoff series. But I think about it before we play them, and while I'm on the court, I'm just focused on the game and trying to win it.
Byron, this will be the last one. Anything different? Kind of on Anthony's tip. Last year, you were the guy on Doncic. This year, you're still the guy, but you got guys you can switch and feel pretty good. Does that change anything how you go about defending him?
No, not really. It's the same approach on my side. The only thing that changes is the communication part. And then, whenever I hear a call, I just got to honor it. But the way I approach the game, and whenever I get a challenge like that, I always approach it in the same way.
Do you notice any difference in his demeanor? Because he was 1 for 7, and he had to go 4 for 8 just to get to 5 to 15. Any difference in his demeanor when he's only 1 for 7? Because he's not used to that, I'm sure.
What are you asking me?
No, I'm saying, can you tell when somebody's struggling like that?
Guys like that are hell of a players for a reason. They can have 2 points in the next 2 minutes. They're up to 12 points or whatever. They have the ball in their hands so much. So, every possession has to be a tough one. And then, every shot they take has to be a tough one. If they make it, they make it. If they miss it, they miss it.
Cason, all year it seems like there's been, kind of a next added emphasis on guards flying in for offensive rebounds. And tonight, you had some massive ones. What impact do you think that snagging as many extra possessions as possible played tonight?
It was big for us, just giving us extra possessions, extra opportunities to score. So it's always good for us.
They really packed the paint, as a lot of teams try to do against y'all, and just seemed to be complete confidence from everybody to just fire up threes. How'd you feel about the offense and the looks that you guys got tonight?
We all liked our looks. I feel like everybody could agree that the shots we shot, almost all of them felt good, and we thought we're going in. But, we didn't make as many as we wanted to, but we still had to shoot the open shot and the right shot. Shai was just in here telling us that Chet gave the pregame speech. Just what do you remember about the speech? I don't remember nothing from the speech. I remember running out and I was laughing. He gave me a good laugh at least. Is he anything of a public speaker? He a decent public speaker? Yeah, when he wants to. He's not always slacking with his pregame, but this time I couldn't tell you what he said. I guess what's that like to have him finally at a game after kind of being around the building but really not being able to move like that for so long? I feel like it's good for all of us to see his face around, to see that he's in good spirits. Yeah.
What was it like defending Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving tonight?
Tough. It's always tough guarding those two, but you gotta give it your all.
And then your rebounding has really ticked up this season. What have you done anything intentional, or is this just like all effort for you?
All effort, just going to get the ball. If I see it or think that I could go get it, I'm gonna go get it. Try to at least.
Your role changes every few games, whether you're starting or coming off the bench, but you seem like you're becoming a more comfortable basketball player. What do you feel like has been working for you the last few weeks?
Confidence, being aggressive when I get the ball, and everything is coming from defense, really. So just having my defense turn into offense.
kind of want to ask you about that. You're talking about confidence. The confidence you probably have just every day going up against Lou, going against Caruso, and just this very defensive-minded team. Just where is your confidence right now, second year in and doing some of the stuff you're doing?
It's pretty high. Like you said, going against teammates pretty much every day, being around them a lot, like it motivates you to be better, and seeing them putting in the work. You know, you gotta do a lot to keep up.
And then sort of following up on that point, when you're out there with guys like Lou, Caruso, and others, is it almost like a feeding frenzy the way you guys are able to create turnovers?
I just think we all fly around, and you know, we all want to get after the guy with the ball. So no matter we switching or playing the passing lanes, we're trying to steal the ball.
Have you ever been in a situation sort of like that before, where you're sort of not the prime defender, where you can, I don't know, you don't have as much responsibility, where you can sort of roam and do a few other things and take a few more risks?
Whether I'm with a lot of good defenders or not, I'm going to do what I do. But luckily, I have other great defenders out there with me to make it a little easier for me.
Mark, you guys bring it every night, but just seemed like the passion, tenacity, hustle plays were really effective and on time tonight. What did you notice about your team in terms of the way that they were able to kind of harness everything to be really productive with the hustle and energy?
I think we've played like this for a good stretch of time now, so this didn't feel different to me at all. You know, I thought we were pretty primed up with our last week, our West Coast trip. You know, we've been playing hard and together for a sustained stretch of time right now, and we were able to draw on that tonight, and it was very helpful, obviously, in the game.
Mark, I mean, just the other night and since then, we've been talking about Shai's playmaking and what might need to happen there when different defenses just show their face. I just wonder what you saw from him tonight, just in that area.
I thought he played a great floor game. I thought he had a great blend, great rhythm on his own stuff, his teammates, threw the ball to his teammates in advantageous positions on the floor. I just thought we were in a pretty good rhythm. It didn't shoot it great the whole night, and obviously got a lot of threes that I thought were pretty high quality, but we kind of stayed with it and kept, making the right plays, kept shooting the right shots, and made enough, to have a pretty good offensive output.
Teams throw the kitchen sink at Luka all the time. I don't know how many times you guys have held him to 5 or 15. Just what did you see that maybe worked so well against him tonight?
Great collective effort and team defense. Not only on him, but we were aggressive with him tonight, and our point of attack defenders being behind that makes it better to do, makes it easier to do that schematically. But then you got to kind of win the rest of the possession, once he gives it up, which is hard because you're at an initial disadvantage. And so I thought early, they got some cracks against us. And as the game went on, we almost got better in the scheme and got tighter for the most part, but certainly stuff we can clean up coming out of it.
You mentioned point of attack and team defense. You guys the point of attack seemed to be a little bit higher tonight. What do you like about you guys' effort on that, in that aspect?
Yeah, I'll reiterate Nick's question. I didn't think anything was higher tonight. I think we've been playing...
higher as in like on
up the floor. Yeah, we've been doing that too. I mean, we've been pressuring with great, intensity all season. That's been, a staple of the way that we've played so far. Obviously tested it against a great offensive team tonight that was playing as well as anybody coming into the game, and did a really nice job with it.
Season high, 17 offensive rebounds for you guys. Just talk about the effort.
Yeah, I thought the possession battle was obviously big. We won the turnover battle and the rebounding, and keeping them off the glass the way that we did, especially in the first half, I thought it set a great tone for the game, and then it allowed us to get out on the break and play fast. And then our offensive rebounding was excellent. It was kind of everybody. It was the guards, it was Hart, it was just great activity, great hustle plays. It gave us a lot of additional cracks at some possessions that were empty to begin.
Yeah, and just like with the Athletic, on the rebounding, Cason Wallace just seemed to be on one tonight. What did you see from him?
Great, complete game. I thought he did a great job on Irving primarily, ended up on Doncic a little bit. He was on some of the role players at different times behind it when we had multiple point of attack guys out there or when we were switching. And then offensively, he was 1 for 5 from 3 at halftime, and then hit 2 big ones in the second half. Had the finish and transition, the offensive rebounding. He just kind of did a little bit of everything tonight. I didn't think he played great in New Orleans. And he's still a young player. He's still 20, whatever, 21, maybe younger than that. I don't know how old he is, but he's a guy that is still growing. And early in your career, it's hard to stay confident through those blips, and he didn't play great in New Orleans offensively. Then tonight he didn't shoot it well early, and I thought he just showed great mental toughness, to just stay in the game the way he did.
Mm-hmm. And 7 total free throws in the game, 0 in the second half. Did you feel like that was indicative of the way you guys played?
I mean, I think it's hard in a game that physical to shoot 0 free throws in a half, so I wouldn't say that was indicative of the game. But they shot 26 free throws in the fourth quarter against Memphis. So obviously they're a team that can get away from you. And we held that down in the first half. It was pretty even in the first half, and I thought that was a big factor in the first part of that game. So, it's a big thing against that team. I mean, he can get 20 free throws in a game, that guy. So if you let that happen, it could be a long night.
You guys took 50 3-pointers tonight. You made 20 of them, but still, you took 50 of them. Was that a point of emphasis? Was to get to the line to put up as many as you guys could?
No, it's just we want to put rim pressure, and because of the way we drive the ball, I mean, that's part of the point with the free throws. I mean, we're in the paint relentlessly, in transition relentlessly. Because we're doing that. Teams do different things, and a lot of what they do is they're physical and they collapse, and they're willing to give up some open ones on the perimeter. And I thought we did a great job of finding those shots throughout the majority of the game. I thought most of the 50 were clean, and most of the game we took what the defense gave. And so we never go in the game predetermining what kind of shots we're going to take. We're just trying to let the defense tell us and let the game tell us. I thought for the most part tonight we did a great job of that.
And then real quick on that, 9 of them were guys off your bench that made those. And they made 9 of those threes. So you just talk about your bench unit. I mean, everybody's going to talk about the defense they played, but I mean, almost half of your 3-pointers that were made were from your bench.
Yeah, I just think I've said this from the West Coast trip last week. I think our guys have shown great resilience with their shooting because there's ups and downs in the season, and you're not always going to just shoot 38%, every single night, and so you're going to have to stay in it. And I thought we did that on the West Coast. We haven't shot the ball great from 3 over the last 10 or 11 games. But we're hanging in there in terms of continuing to throw the right passes and shoot the right shots. And I thought tonight was an example of that. We just kind of hung in there, made the right plays, shot the right ones. Enough of them fell. And that should give us some confidence moving forward.
With some other teams, such as the Warriors over the last decade, you saw them really sort of avalanche with threes and build momentum. Do you feel like you guys sort of do the same thing with turnovers?
It stops generally, and the turnovers are a big part of that. But I think that's one of the benefits of trying to speed teams up with our pressure. And we have a luxury roster for that. I mean, we can't just do that. We have to have the guys that can make that worthwhile, and we do, and they do a great job. And I thought, again, we did a great job of that tonight. Both halves, great intensity, but then great discipline. We're not just running around crazy out there. We sit down and we win the closeouts. We guard one-on-one. And try to force them into uncomfortable spots.
Anybody else? Go ahead, Andrew.
Did you get the sense that this game meant more to the players before the game?
No, like I said, I think it means more to you guys, clearly, based on the line of questioning. However, we've been playing like this all season. If we're not playing like this, it's a surprise. So I think, again, we're pretty primed up competitively. We've played together. There's been great intensity all season, and if you were watching us in Toronto the other night, I thought that was box to wire, a very impressive output in terms of us playing to our standard. And I thought tonight was as well, but I didn't think there was anything elevated about how we played tonight. I thought we were continuing to build a muscle that we've been building all season.
Yeah, Steve for the last one. Go ahead, Steve.
Chet was able to watch the game from the tunnel, even came out, I think, for at least one of the huddles. How inspiring was that?
I'm happy for him that he can do that. I mean, this is a guy who's like in bed, right after that injury, and part of me feels for him because you put a guy like him. I mean, he probably wanted to play, with the crutches, which wouldn't have been good for the team or for his injury. But we've had him around more often. He's in good spirits. I think mentally he's cleared some hurdles here where he's starting to make some progress. I think initially when that happens, you just got to kind of sit, and that can be hard for a guy like him. But he's been through the process before, understands the value of taking it step by step. He's doing a great job with that, and he'll continue to make progress, and he'll be back at some point.